It's awesome seeing you with me here again today, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Also, I want to do a plug here concerning my prophecy series. If you haven't had a chance to see that or you've missed a bunch of them, if you go to the church's website, go to the menu, and then look down, but you have to go to the website. You'll see there a play for prophecy. And if you go there, you'll see all the prophecy studies are in order. I want to encourage you with that today. Well, here we've been looking here at the life of Caleb, and we've entitled this Born a Slave, Died a Hero. Did you ever feel like things happened to you in the past and you had a lot of failures, you made a lot of big mistakes, and you feel as if God isn't going to do something great for you? Well, that's exactly the way that Caleb could have felt. So here he was. He was born in Egypt. He was born a slave. He traveled through the wilderness. They went to the promised land. And when they got there, he was with, there were 12 spies altogether, and 10 of them said they couldn't go in. Only Joshua and Caleb said that they could do it. Well, all the people listened to the other 10, and so they end up having to wander through the wilderness for 40 years, and Caleb and Joshua, of the adults, were the only ones still alive. So here they are. They're ready to go into the promised land a second time. So he's kind of reliving this whole thing, and he's telling this younger generation, we can do this. Now look with me here in Numbers chapter 14. It says, but because my servant Caleb has a different spirit. Do you know God would do great things if we would just have a different spirit? Do you know what makes you different or could make you different than other believers that you know, other believers in the church? That you have a believing spirit in which you trust in the Lord, a positive, faith-filled attitude. Faith-filled attitude with the idea that I can do it. In God's name, for his honor and glory, that I can do this. I want you to watch the words that you speak, as I was talking about last week in our faith series. I want you to only think positive thoughts about what's going to be done and that God's going to help you to win this battle. I want you to get excited about things that are going to happen. I do this thing in which I practice great things are going to happen. I'll pretend the new church is built. I'll pretend that I accomplished that thing that I'm working on. I'll actually practice walking in through the gates of heaven one day. I do. Okay, this keeps peace in your soul. This brings it towards you by faith, and this is how miraculous things are going to take place. Now, no matter where you are in life, I don't want you giving up on life. Listen, I'm going to be upfront. My wife and I, we could do an early retirement. I do not plan on sitting on the front porch with my wife and just gumming my life away. That doesn't sound real appealing. Okay, but I want to live my life, die with my boots on, serving God, and I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Okay, let's go on over here to Numbers 13, verse 30. He now tells the people, here's Caleb, he's an old man right now. He says, I've been through this before. I want you to listen to what I have to say. He goes, let us go at once and possess the land. We can overcome it. And look down in Numbers 14:7. He says, the land is great. If the Lord is happy with us. Now what that means is that you're living for God. You're being obedient to him. You're going to church. You're having devotions with us here every day or spending time in prayer. He says, then we will have that land of milk and honey. Because God is with us, do not fear them. He says, so don't fear anyone. He says, this isn't my first rodeo. I've been through this before. I have watched us miss out on the blessings of which God had for us, and I don't want you to miss out. And so here he is as an old man filled with faith. And you know, when you're filled with faith, you can place faith in other people. Listen, life's too short for pity parties. No, nobody wants to be around somebody who constantly lives in a pity party. If you want what normal people have, then you do what normal people do. If you want what only few people have, then you do what only few people do. Hey, listen, if you're looking for a sign, here's your sign. When I was a kid and I was like homeless and I finally lived with a family member, my sister, and I was doing work on one of their family farms. And I remember the old farmer cornering me in the barn one day. And he said, I just want you to stand there. I want to pray over you. And he came over, put his hand on my shoulder. And he says, God has a great plan for your life. And I know it. Okay, that's all I need to hear. Listen, God has got a great plan for your life and He wants to do great things, but you have to believe.